Hey everybody, Michael D'Angelo of Silence Media. Now, everything I say and do is based upon my opinion and the opinions of Silence Media. Tonight I want to talk about propaganda. If you look on the back of, if you look on the packets of cigarettes, I don't have a packet, but these are my cigars, alright? 90% of that is all propaganda. It's actually bullshit. It's bullshit information. The whole idea that the government put out about all of this was a worldwide thing to try and decrease people from smoking. There's something that you must know about that. I don't give a fuck. When I look at that, I just think, what a waste of space. I smoke what's inside it, not what's on the outside packaging. And a lot of people feel the same. Those who smoke don't really give a flying fuck about the packet on the outside. It's what's on the inside that matters. Propaganda is, in fact, that's disinformation. Saying that smoking causes cancer is absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Scientific studies in Yale and Harvard have shown that smoking doesn't cause cancer. Cancer causes cancer, you dumb fucks. The chemicals that go inside tobacco causes cancer. And those chemicals were introduced via government. So you could say the government causes cancer. Because tobacco companies never originated with all these chemicals and tar all the way through tobacco. And if you have a look at the old Pall Mall that we're here in New Zealand, and I worked there, I can tell you, nah. It was also one of the reasons the tobacco giant went under here in New Zealand, was they refused to keep pumping full of chemicals into tobacco. But you'll never hear about that. Why? Because they want to sweep it under the carpet. You're hearing all this shit about nicotine being highly addictive. That's the biggest lie of all fucking time. It's not nicotine that's highly addictive at all. Remember, I've worked in the tobacco industry. Back in Napier, I worked at Pall Mall. Let me make something clear, people. The New Zealand government have been lying to you for years. And when I say years, I mean decades. Decades. Now, smoking is not a healthy habit, and it is a habit. It is not a healthy habit whatsoever. And yes, many people have died with a result of smoking, from smoking, or whatever. But none of that's scientifically backed up. It's all propaganda. Now I want to get from there to something more serious. By the way, more people die on New Zealand roads than they do from smoking. More people die from alcohol poisoning than they do from smoking. More people die from violent assaults caused by alcohol than they do from smoking. Those are facts. Wake the fuck up. Anyway, kids, don't smoke. You shouldn't be watching my shit anyway, but don't smoke. If an asshole like me wants to smoke a cigarette, an asshole like me should have the freedom of choice to do so. But let me make something clear to you. Smoking cigarettes is absolutely shit. And these today are more addictive than heroin. Now, I'm not saying you go out and do heroin either. But it's not because of tobacco. Tobacco is actually a plant that is good for cattle or sick animals. And when smoked in its rawest form, it actually enhances the brain. That's enough on that. Propaganda in the government sense. I've noticed a lot of the old freedom fighters from the parliamentary era, we'll call it, support Israel. Now, I don't support either, and I'll tell you why. Hamas was created by the American CIA. Hamas, the terrorist group, was originally created via the CIA. And it still is to date. They don't hide the fact. It's on their fucking website. Go and have a look. But no, you'll follow the narrative, but you won't actually look into the research. Fuck man, people are gullible. They're pumping out propaganda and bullshit to hate so they can destroy the Gaza Strip. So they can destroy Gaza full stop. Now, I'm not siding with the Palestinians, I'm not siding with Hamas, and I'm not siding with Israel. What I will say is this: life, a life, has no right to be taken by another life. Israel is responsible for carpet bombing the fuck out of the Gaza Strip. Israel is responsible. And here's the fucking thing about all of this, that anyone with a bit of common sense to go and look into shit would have found this out pretty quick. Israeli special forces went in a week before and disarmed all the Palestinian guard. Disarmed the whole lot. The tunnel that everyone said was Hamas was owned by the Israeli army. It was built by the Israelis. Where did Hamas get all that shit to build that? For real, where did they get it? And with the most technological, advanced security system in the world, are you telling me that Hamas hacked it, broke through it? It's not above land, people. It's above, below, and beyond. That was on their website when they put it out. I'm so sick to death. I've been fed second-hand information, so I went and looked and got first-hand information. Israeli special forces were trained by Russians. And now they're against Russia. Really? Why would they be against Russia? Think about it. The United States CIA has a habit of sticking its nose into everybody's business as the head of NATO. Don't tell me they're not the head of NATO, because I'll show you facts to say that they are. And let's make something quite fucking clear. NATO has been responsible for starting fucking wars all over the globe, mainly in the Middle East. And it has been already proven to breach UN contracts of peace with Russia. Now, you've got Biden openly admitting to funding what's happening in Ukraine. Openly admitting that he's funding a sovereign state of Russia to fight against Russia. Fuck me. I say this to any military that goes to the Ukraine or supports Ukraine: you're a mercenary. You're not military. You're a mercenary. And if they fuck you up, which they're gonna do, and they have done already, if they fuck you up over there, Don't come back. Don't come back. My brother's security team went over to Ukraine and was put on a plane and sent back home. Even though we had people there. They were assassinated by the United States government. They were assassinated. They were taken out in the street, not by Ukrainian soldiers, but by mercenaries from the United States government. They were Americans that walked our clients out and shot them in the back of the head in the middle of the street. It's pathetic. It truly is pathetic that the world starts believing all the propaganda and doesn't look into what's actually going on. Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, my ass. No. A leader they put into power, the CIA put into power, turned rogue. Went against the CIA. So the CIA took him out. Just so they could get their grubby hands on the oil reserves. Afghanistan. The largest contributor to the world, and this is what a lot of people don't know, to the world's opium population. The largest contributor to pharmaceutical opium. Now you're seeing why? Who is the largest pharmaceutical company in the world to date? United States of America. Who does the CIA actually work for? Who are they answer to? Would you be surprised that they're all answerable to the WEF? They're actually noted as the WEF private security sector. Interesting, huh? But the people will believe propaganda before they believe truth. I mean, look at New Zealand. Look at New Zealand. It's a simple, small country, right? A simple, small country that just has smashed every election criminally, with intent, since the 1950s. MMP was a joke. I'll tell you why it's a joke. It gave the opportunity for the smaller parties to get into Parliament. So what did National do? National turned around and shattered its own team and made smaller parties. What do you think NMP was? What did you think Brian Tamaki was? Labour's version. Interesting, huh? What do you think the Greens are? Because the Greens were actually a part of Labour. What do you think Te Māori Party is? Huh? I mean, have a look at the Board of Trustees on Te Māori Party. And you'll see Labour, 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 Labour. Have a look at ACT and where ACT came from. National. 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 Winston Peters is part of the Business Roundtable. Now, everybody's looking at Winston Peters. Let me tell you something about Winston Peters. Winston Peters is part of the Business Roundtable, the Executive Council of New Zealand. The Executive Council of New Zealand runs New Zealand no matter what. It doesn't matter if Winston Peters is in the hot seat or in a seat. He still runs New Zealand. So to have the Rank Group come on board and start sponsoring Winston Peters, the Rank Group that is connected to the Koch Institute. Now, let's look who else is invested in the Koch Institute. Oh, National, ACT, Labour, the Greens. Te Māori Party is a joke. Set up and designed to be a joke. It's all Labour. It's designed for Labour. Why? Because they needed the Māori vote. A white man can't get it. So put a Maori in there. Put an uneducated Maori in there. A cowboy hat, a slave trader in there. You only have to look up your own whakapapa to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And as for the Packer family, holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me, people? You'll listen to propaganda before you'll listen to the truth. In fact, you won't even listen to truth. You turn around and destroy the truth itself. That's what's wrong with New Zealand. You listen to bullshit before you listen to reality. On both sides. They are all WEF. The World Economic Forum is heavily infested in the New Zealand government, and they have been since 1958. It's time to snap into reality and see that every New Zealander, all walks of life, every New Zealander has been played. Every New Zealand needs to now stand up and say no more to this bullshit. These people need to be held accountable, and the only real way to hold them accountable now is to go after the big business of New Zealand. You crumble those big businesses, and you watch the New Zealand government will flip a lid. A serious, hardcore lid. They will come running to the people quickly Why? Because without big business in New Zealand's fucked. As a government. As a people, we'll survive. We'll thrive. Big business destroys New Zealand. It is what it is. Until you, the people, wake up and change it. I'm Michael D'Angelo with Silence Media. Stay safe, be righteous, be well, be free. Peace.